Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the treats
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We got you.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the war field.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Monday Morning Tight End on your Monday evening. I am Marcus Dash, and tonight we'll be breaking down the linebackers in the room, free agency, draft prospects, doing the whole gambit, doing the whole thing tonight. Teja and JD, former Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn will be joining us. My brother Teja Dash will be joining us shortly. Very explosive day in the NFL world, in the Chiefs world specifically. We'll talk about some of that before we hop into the linebackers tonight. But of course, Chief Concerns is presented by FanDuel, the number one sports book. And while the NFL season is over, there's still plenty of things, plenty of sports going on. The Olympics is going on. The second half of the NBA season is going on. But I always love to see what FanDuel's Twitter account has to say. And their Twitter account actually had this today. And this is something that we're going to get into tonight. But yeah, the FanDuel Sportsbook account tweeted Tyreek Hill with the Chiefs, Super Bowl LIV champion for 1,000-yard season, six-time Pro Bowler. Are we going to see a reunion in Kansas City? This is something we've been talking about for a long time in the show, potential of this happening. And we're going to get into that tonight. But yeah, so FanDuel sponsor the show, and of course, best spot to get all your best lines in any kind of sport you want to look at. But yeah, I saw this tweet. I was like, you know what? We talked about it, right? It is one of those things we made. The point that we made was Patrick Mahomes is going to have his normal offseason. We're not going to see him going to Texas, throwing bombs to these guys and getting chemistry with all these new guys. No, you got to surround him with dudes who know him and the chemistry that he has with these guys. And Tyreek Hill, probably any receiver that we've had, this is the number one guy he's had chemistry with throughout his career. Number one. I mean, not even close. But the fact that he can even make the argument that the next closest guy who had chemistry with Mahomes was probably Tyquan Thornton in a 16-catch sample size, it just tells you how great these two were together. We're talking deep ball. We're talking underneath stuff, the intermediate stuff. So, yeah, I would love that, and we're going to talk about it tonight with JD and Teja. Let's get into it a little bit. Let's see who's in on the chat before we bring in Tej and JD. All right, we got Will, my guy, Chubb and Hill released. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Chubb as well. That's another guy. About 8.5 sacks last year. Would have led our team in sacks, I think. Coming off a knee injury, so not bad. Who else we got here? Alan DeJong, my guy Alan. Good day, Marcus and Jason. Interesting event at Miami. Will Hill and Patrick reunite? This is the $1 million question. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. There she is, Miss Little Shadow. What's up, Miss Little Shadow? I've been DMing with her all day today. Is this live right now or is this from earlier and my alerts are late? No, this is right now. This is right now, Will Miss Shadow. Linda Hunter, what's going on, Linda? DeMarcus Hayes, my cousin DeMarcus. What's up, buddy? Chiefs build game update tomorrow. Yeah, and also, too, Wednesday night. Last week we had Ashton Gelati on. This week we got Kevin Knowles the second on, cornerback for the Chiefs, coming in here tonight. Coming in here Wednesday night. Going to be a good one. We're going to break down, how his first year was with the Chiefs, how he went from undrafted guy to being the guy. So it's going to be good stuff. It's going to be good stuff. Miss Little Shadow, Marcus, have I been talking to you or Jason? You've been talking to me today. Yeah, I control the Twitter account, so yeah, you've been talking to me. Good conversations too, on very insightful stuff. I think I've chatted with some of you guys on DMs on Twitter as well. But all right, yeah. So let's see who else is in here. Daniel 13 ZDR. I love the Ruben Bain photo that right there. Sid McBride. Good evening, all. DeMarcus Hayes. Optimistic James, man. I still see you tweeting about the Oregon quarterback Dante Moore. He's not in the draft, so the Chiefs cannot draft him. So just want to let you know Dante Moore is out. He's out. Maybe next year, but not this year, buddy. What's going on? Chubb grew up a Chiefs fan, from what I remember. Was that Chubb or was that the other DN from the Broncos? What was his name? Gosh. It's the one who had a mural of Kansas City on his back. Was it Shane Ray, maybe? I think so. Optimistic James, my guy. Michael Hall, Sid McBride, Will again. Let's go Knowles, baby. Might have a big role this year. I think Knowles is going to be a beast next year. As far as, I mean, not because we're going to have him on our show, but I just think like he came on strong out of nowhere this past year, and I think we're going to see a lot of him this upcoming season. So yeah, it's a great guy. Gelati and Knowles, I think, are going to have really big roles for us next year. They may not be the hottest names, but I think they're going to have big time roles for us next year. So yeah, I'm excited about that. DJ Jesse 1, what's going on, buddy? We start early tonight? No, 8:15 is when we start. I mean, that's the time. I'm just trying to get it on at that time. Pete Bells, what's going on, bud? We're doing well, buddy. I was Mr. James. I know I addressed that last time, saying it's just hopeful wishes because that's my cousin's name. Oh, gotcha. Hit the like button. Yes, if you're coming in for the first time, you're just watching this and not in the chat. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. That goes a long way for us. It gets us out there. If you're not in the chat, if you're watching this after we do the live, comment on the video. It just gets us more exposure, more clicks, more engagement, and that gets us out there to compete with the big dogs out there. There's a lot of big dogs out there. So yeah, definitely do that. Alan DeJong, I think Leo and Drew are gone. Well, it's a great comment, Alan, because we're going to be talking about that tonight. We're going to be talking about the linebacker situation tonight. All things, the guys who are in the house, the guys who are free agents, the guys who could be cut. There's going to be a lot of good stuff tonight. So definitely stick around. Andrea Chenal, what's going on, Andrea? I hope you're doing well. All right, let's we got Teja in the backstage. We're going to bring Teja in, and then I think JD should be joining us shortly thereafter. There he is. There's my big
Yo.
What's up, buddy? How are you, man?
Good. Pretty good. How are you?
Good. I today was a very electric day on the social media. Today we had obviously Tyreek Hill. He's available again. There's a guy we talked about pretty much since the season ended. Well, actually, I think even going back to last year. I mean, he's been making hints about coming back to Kansas City for a while. We saw the end of the Miami tenure probably a year before the injury. You could tell he was probably gone last year. I think he knew that. But
going into last year, he had all those cryptic tweets. Remember?
Yeah,
actually, no, he had the message where he was like, I don't need this anymore. I'm gone. It was something like that, right? Before this last year started. And
then he posted on his Snapchat story was a montage of all his photos with the Chiefs too. So he's been kind of hinting at leaving. The thing is with him, it's weird because it's not just hinting at leaving Miami. It was like hinting at leaving Miami for Kansas City. Like he missed his old team, which is funny. So yeah, and now he's available, and now with the situation, since they cut him, we don't have to wait till March 9th or whatever the day is. Like we could sign him now, in theory, if we wanted to. But we'll talk about his injury situation. But that's a guy that we've kind of circled as a dude who could come back and add a veteran to the room. But we'll see what the injuries and all that. I mean, on his Twitch today, he said he's going to get another surgery. I don't know the extent of that. I think I also saw another video of him doing one-legged kettlebell squats as well. Yeah, so.
I've seen some doctor accounts on there make sense of the new surgery. They just maybe didn't know the amount of damage and the LCL, so they held off on it. Maybe something to do with his nerve damage, possibly holding off because they didn't know the extent of. I don't know. That's all doctor jargon. I mean, we weren't counting on him being ready by week 1 anyway. So,
well, if you go by Drew Rosenhaus, shortly thereafter his initial surgery, he said he'll be ready by week 1 next year.
Yeah, I mean,
his initial surgery, the initial one. I remember that was.
He got interviewed today, though.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, yeah, but it was in contrast to that. When JD and I talked about his initial press or interview after the surgery, and it made it sound like he'd be back and ready to go.
Rosenhaus was borderline like a wrestling promoter manager. Yeah, you know what I mean? Come on, I don't buy that for a second. But even if he was like ready, I mean, I would err on the side of caution with him. Like, this is coming from someone who wants to sign him. If we signed him, I would already be putting in like the suggestion of wait, do not play in week 1. Let him start on the list. Let him wait 6 more weeks. There's no reason to rush him back. None. And I'm still in the camp of never mind. I'm not gonna go down the when we sign Tyreek Hill yet. But yes, I'm in favor of that. We've talked about this recently.
And I get like JD and I had the obviously when we talked about our receivers like a couple weeks ago, and I posted this on our Twitter account earlier, like the fact that Mahomes has the injury and he's not gonna be able to do his normal off-season stuff. And I actually had an argument with someone today saying I was like, he won't be ready for April to be throwing in Texas. The guy's like, yeah, he will be. It's like, no, he won't be. He won't be throwing in April in Texas. Sorry, buddy, not happening. I was like, I wish and I hope that's the case. That ain't happening. Maybe July he'll be doing that. Maybe July.
He's just starting to like walk normally and go to like games and stuff now.
Ridiculous. But anyway, he won't be able to do that. So like what JD and I have been saying is that like you got to surround him with guys he already has chemistry with. Bringing back Kelsey, bringing back Tyquan Thornton, and then this guy Tyreek Hill as well. So we talked about this on our receiver show too, our receiver show. Yeah, that's been kind of the hoopla from us. And I people hearing from us saying it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, that's valid if it's coming from JD's show, right?
I also think people automatically assume. I mean, social media assumptions. I think people automatically assume it's like a blank check, like no matter what the cost is, get Tyreek Hill. No, I mean, yeah, man, if the Raiders or Chargers offer him like 15, 20 a year for a guy who might not play half a season or a season at all next year, yeah, go ahead. I'm not going to like put my stamp on that. That's ridiculous. If they're that desperate for a receiver like that, they want to give $20 million a year to a guy who might not play next season. I'm out on. I'm out on that. But if it's like it's a lucrative deal for him to get paid a good amount of money to sit out most of next year, take it slow with him, but also not killing our cap, then yeah, of course I want him back.
I just don't think he's going to get a lucrative deal. The fact that he's having surgery, another surgery in a couple of weeks, what he said on his Twitch today, who knows when he's going to be available this year. So people are going to sign for a 1-year deal. I feel like they'll stretch it out to maybe a 2-year deal and like kind of let him play it out. But I don't think it's going to be lucrative. I think there's too much uncertainty with the injury that's going to be like this $20 million a year deal.
Sure, but Rosenhaus is his agent, so I mean anything's possible.
He'll ask for the moon, but I just don't think that he's going to get the moon. But
there's a lot of teams with a lot of money to spend out there.
Yeah, but those teams can't afford a betting on a mystery. Those teams out there.
Neither can we, but yeah.
So JD, what are your thoughts? Everything we've seen this whole thing kind of play out for the last about a month or so. We talked about Tyreek Hill potentially being available. He's talked about coming back to Kansas City. Eric Bieniemy, all things he's hinted on his social media for the last year and a half. Now he's a free agent. He can sign with us if he wants to. What do you make of the whole situation? The fact that now we know he's going to get a surgery. And if you guys haven't seen this yet, let me just play this real quick. This is Tyreek Hill on his Twitch playing video games earlier, talking about potentially getting a surgery.
It's going good, bro. Like I said earlier in the stream, I got to have one more surgery. You know what I'm saying? I have more updates on that on my Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys follow me, have been following me throughout this journey, man, it hasn't been as rough as people try to make it seem. You know what I'm saying? But I will say with me, filling my time with, DJing and, traveling to all these different places, I will say that it has made it a lot easier for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just enjoying my life. I'm enjoying myself, man. So, but yeah, I have more updates whenever I'm about to have surgery.
So there it is.
Are those like waves crashing in the background? He's got like a beachside like.
No, I think he was playing NBA 2K. I think, and I think it was just like
I was like, man,
the background.
He really is having a good time, huh?
So JD, now that we know what the case with what the deal Leo is with Tyreek Hill, what do you make of everything?
I tell you what, man. I said this: if we get a Tyreek Hill back, that would be one of the greatest stories ever putting something together. So shout out to everybody out here saying what's up to the fellas, and it's good to see everybody tonight. This is good news. I think it's good news, maybe for the Chiefs. I've had this conversation with some of my other brothers on the other end, and we were just talking about what would you sign a Tyreek Hill for, and I said, look, somebody is gonna give him about $15 to $20 million. Somebody will. I don't think that's a stretch either. I said for the Chiefs, we had to be somewhere around close to 15, 12 to 15 to sign him. Maybe do like heavy incentive to try to bring him in, but you're not going to get him for 10. Some guy, we'll give him. He's not going. Drue's not going for 10, and Tyreek's not going for 10. And so, one of my arguments I made is, so this is what I had. Like I said, I was making this argument earlier. It's really about his production. What he was able to achieve over these past few years. He's been one of the best receivers in the game in the past 5 years, no question about it.
Not in the last two.
Well, he had 89 catches 2 years ago.
Off like 100 for like a 300 target season. That wasn't the elite Hill, is what I'm saying. Like it looks like it's doing that now, right?
Well, but that was, Tua was down, so that was another thing that, cost him as well. And then him having the 25 catches, getting hurt, that was it. Other than that, you look at 119, 1,700 yards, 1,700 yards. This is what he was putting up. That's his numbers. And so if I'm sitting over here and I'm Drew Rosenhaus, I'm going in like, listen, look, Tyreek Hill, 85% is still better than 85% in the NFL. So that's when I'm going negotiating, like the proof is in the pudding. And for me, I think Tyreek is one of those guys that will probably come and play at the beginning of the season. They went through like the phases that he was, his healing process. And so him being out in September, he's probably at the third phase of the healing process right now. This surgery he may have in a couple of weeks may just be cleaning stuff up. So it might just not be like a major setback, but it just might just be cleaning some junk up, some of the soreness that he might just be dealing with. To be honest with you, I think, he plays next year. And I'm not saying like halfway through the season. I'm thinking probably toward the first that he'll probably come out and start playing. It's early on that you could really probably get some headway around May to see exactly where he is. If you're ready for training camp to be running around, maybe catching some balls, getting monitoring what he's doing, I think it's possible. I really do. So the question is for us, are we willing to pay like $12 million in incentives? I'll say this, for me, I'd pay $12 million in heavy incentives for Tyreek Hill to come back here. No question about it. I don't know if he'll take it or not, but I definitely sure would offer him that.
What do you make of the Ryan Clark on his Twitter account today posted a video talking about Tyreek Hill and how he can come back to Kansas City and, kind of repaint his legacy, so to speak, right? Like, Antonio Brown went from Pittsburgh to Tampa and had the weird end to his career. A lot of these guys, Terrell Owens, he said, he didn't get into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. He was a second ballot Hall of Fame because of the antics he did. Whether you agree with it or not, just the antics that he did. Tyreek went to Miami, made a big to-do about, and then off the field stuff too. He could come back to Kansas City and the end of his career. He can kind of change up things and kind of make right by, the Kansas City fans and come back to Kansas City. And also to a place where we did understand him, that the Andy Reid and him had a huge bond. Eric Bieniemy and him have a huge bond. Mahomes and him, that put up some of the biggest numbers ever as a QB wide receiver combination. For Tyreek Hill, forget about the money from the Tyreek Hill situation. Is that something you think that is kind of maybe playing a factor in him wanting to come back? Because he's made no bones about how he misses Kansas City. Snapchat stories last year, him with Mahomes and Chiefs uniforms and making all these types of comments over the last year or so. From his standpoint, where do you think he's kind of thinking about this situation right now?
I mean, for him, this is where he cut his teeth. This would be home for him. It's hard for anybody to go down and play Miami. I mean, you're going to get in some trouble if you're not ready for, the Miami life. And you got a whole boatload of money, too, to do what you want to do. There could be some problems associated with that. Here, he can come back to Kansas City, be a choir boy. He can do that. And like you said, if he wants to kind of, shine up his legacy these next couple of years, he can definitely do it. Him and Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce get here, ride out into the sunset. They win one more championship. Tyreek Hill still out there giving it his all for these next couple of years. I think that's what you try to do. But I do believe that there's some validity there in Ryan saying that. Like I said, the question really is he willing to pay or, sign for what Veach and him was trying to do? Free agent, he's coming out, man. There's going to be a lot of teams swinging for him, and rightly so. They should. And I guarantee there's going to be some teams that's going to be up toward $20 million. It makes a lot of sense.
I don't know. It's a lot, man.
Yeah, I mean, but
it's a lot. It's a lot for a player that was declining and also had a crazy injury with that he needs another surgery on. It's a mystery on top of declining.
I mean, you say declining, and it's subjective. I don't think he was declining.
He had okay. He had 3 straight years of over 110 catches and at least 1,240 yards.
Okay.
The next season, 81 for 950. That's a big drop down. And last season, in 4 games, he had 21 for 265 and 1 TD over a 16-game season. What's that, 85 catches for 950, almost 1,000? That's not. It's not 1,700 and 120 catches anymore. You know what I mean?
It isn't. It's not. But also too. But look, Teja, man, you got to take in context. Obviously, what offense is going to be. Tua wasn't necessarily the quarterback at that time, throwing the ball to him. So if you got Johnny Quest. I'm just saying, yeah, he's a better quarterback than they had. Whoever the other guys was throwing the ball to him. That was when he was hurt.
Yeah, Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, come on, man.
Hey, between those two guys, Skylar Thompson's probably gonna have a job this offseason before Tua will. I don't know when Tua's gonna get signed or where he's gonna go. I mean, they're both they're both gonna be backups from here on out anyway. So,
well, but the point is, and to be like our guy Olodukin throwing the ball to Travis Kelce, and Travis didn't catch a whole lot of balls at the end. Just couldn't get the ball to him.
Yeah.
And so what's the guy's name? I don't even remember the guy's name. What's his name again? Skylar what?
Skylar Thompson.
Skylar Thompson. Come on, man. That's who's throwing the ball to you. So yeah, you guess what? You're going to be declining. I don't think it was performance or it was him necessarily declining physically in anything. This is, I think, it's the offense and the quarterback that's throwing the ball to you, trying to, because they're the one that's, they got to get the ball out their hands to you.
And that's definitely a conversation to be had between the teams and the agent, but that is something to go off of. You were set for 2 straight seasons of under 1,000 yards, and you had a devastating leg injury. You're not going to get 80% of the salary you had before. I mean, that's a lot for a guy who put out 50% of his stat production in the last 2 years. That's all. I mean, that's just from a team perspective. That's what I would be saying. I mean, on top of the fact we might have you for half a season next year.
So you're getting some. So
8 games.
Well, if you're getting 70% of that, right, which would be close to it, right? 70% of your salary that you had, and it wasn't you necessarily declining. This is you. It's not like all of a sudden you had 119 for 1,700 yards twice, and then all of a sudden you just suck.
But unfortunately, JD, in the injuries, it takes you 2 seasons to get closer to what you were. So really, you're not looking at real like that 85. What do you say? 85% of old Tyreek. You're not going to get that till 2027 now. So that's a year and a half away. He'll be 33, turning 34. Receivers don't turn it around at 34 years old, man, especially speed threats. I'm a pro-sign Tyreek Hill guy, but $20 million a year for a mid-30s receiver who coming off a devastating knee injury, who was statistically declining, that's rich. Now, what I think is going to happen with him, I don't think he's going to like the offers. I think Rosenhaus is going to look through the free agent receivers that we were pretty much disgusted with a couple weeks ago. And I think he's going to say, wait it out, Tyreek. Wait till the first wave of free agency is over. And then probably you're going to have a lot of teams saying, well, we're going to go to the draft to see what we got for now. We're not going to shell out 15, 20 million for a guy like that when A, you haven't had your other surgery yet. B, we have the draft. We'll probably wait for the draft to come and go. And then it'll be like, all right, here's how much money we have left. Here's what we can do. There will be a lot of teams with a lot of money left at that point. But I do think it's best for him to wait. There's no point in rushing this process.
So for him, I'm sure he wants to be in the building somewhere. I mean, he didn't have to rush it for sure, but also out of sight is out of mind as well. And one thing you want to do is show everybody, hey, I am okay. Or if you are monitoring what I'm doing, at least, you have your thumb on me and I could come in and play sparingly, just showing you I can still do what I can do. And why not take advantage of it right now when you still have that? You have that in your corner by saying, like, look, you see he's coming out here to play. You see what he did 2 years ago. He didn't have 2 in the 1 year when he had 81 catches. That wasn't his fault. Okay. Then he had this devastating knee injury, which, shoot. Tyreek Hill at how old is he going to be? 32 years old and you look at all the great wide receivers. Most of those wide receivers that were great still was able to still do what they was able to do later on in their 30s. And you could go over the numbers of who it was. Fitzy or Moss or Jerry Rice is 40-some years old. So we're talking about speed. We're talking about world-class speed. It was different if Tyreek Hill was like number 25th fastest guy, wide receiver in the league. He was number 1. He was doing things out there that he was his own video game. And we seen it. It was just like, it wasn't even fair the things he was doing. Now, if he can get to part of that, 85% of that, he's still going to be better than 85% of the league in speed and quickness in itself. He just has a rare gift that a lot of guys just don't have. If this is just a regular receiver, I'll be like, yeah, okay, right. I understand that. But we've seen things out of Tyreek Hill that we just haven't seen out of other receivers in the game. Let's just be honest about it. And so that's
when the season starts, that'll have been 3 years ago, though. That's a long time.
I love it. Man, I tell you what,
long time.
We need to have you in the negotiating room to talk about that. And guess
it's a long time ago, man.
Look, but Tej, look, this is exactly how the negotiating table works. This is
100%.
Yeah.
That's why I think he's going to wait in the end, because they're going to be – what's going to happen is, well, we want 18 at least. And it's going to be like, you know what? If you want 18, let's put a hold on this. Get your other surgery. We'll see how you progress. We'll see how you look after that. Let's see if you need another surgery after that. Because if we're going to shell out that kind of money, we need to know that you're at least healing on the right track. Asking for $20 million when you have another surgery to get, that's pretty bold. I think if he wants to sign quicker, he'll probably have to accept less, just because, they can be optimistic. We're talking nerve damage. We don't even know how he's going to be after that surgery. We don't know if he's going to be okay. So if you accept 10 now, that might be 10 more than you'll get in 3 months from now when no one knows if you can run full speed again. You know what I mean? Like, there's still a big mystery here with that.
There's big ifs. You can go through history and probably see guys that come back off of surgeries and saying, like, look, you know what? This guy came back and he did all right. He did okay. And I'm sure there's on the other end of it too, saying like the guy wasn't the same one. I could speak about this myself. I didn't have my speed that I had when I came off my knee surgery. I had 2 knee surgeries though. And so when I had 2 knee surgeries done, I the PCL tearing, the back MCL, I'm talking about bone on bone. Like, those are two totally different things. This is ACL and you're talking about, kneecap.
Patellar and PCL.
Yeah. So we'll just, and it's a waiting game. I'm saying is,
I think so.
Those guys take advantage of it right now. That way, somebody's saying, like, look, at least our docs could get you underneath their wing to see exactly where you are in your entire, healing process and your therapy to do it the right way. So if I'm Drue, man, I'm trying to sign right now. Immediately, I'm taking everybody in. Now, if you want to wait, it's going to be a negotiating tactic. I'm like, okay, go ahead and wait, but I got such and such on the phone right now. I'm ready for a deal. Okay. And so if we want to play hardball, we got to play hardball saying, like, look, Tyreek, we want you back. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw you 12, and then we're going to give you a lot of incentives. Okay.
Yeah.
And these trainers, we know you want to come home.
100%. I like that. See, you got me on the negotiating table now with you.
Yeah. I mean,
that. Now we're talking.
Right. And that's where it has.
I might go on 10, but 12 I can deal with. I can swallow 12.
Man. We can throw 12 in. We got 12 for you.
You get 12 with 3 touchdowns, baby. Right now, 10. Right now, 10.
$2 million in for him real quick. Let's just drop this on the table. Okay?
You get me 4 TDs, we'll get it up to 12. But right now, 10. Right now, 10.
Oh, shit, man. I'm not even talking to nobody for 10. That's
double digits.
That's disrespectful.
JD, with the chemistry aspect and how he knows the team, and you mentioned the doctors, the coach. Yeah. Like, let's say he is getting offered, like the Jets, for example. I don't think they would, but the Jets, they throw him $20 million because they have a lot of money to spend.
Yeah.
And then that's that. But then also the Chiefs are coming in with this $12 million with incentive-based deal. Do you think when it comes to a team like that, because he's obviously been to a team that Miami had success while he was there, but there were also some down years and it was a disaster. Going to a bad team like the Jets, say, they may be offering me a lot, but I've already gone to the highest bidder before, and the grass wasn't always greener, and I had a big contract. I'll take the $12 million with an incentive-based deal with the Chiefs. You think that would be something he would be like, you know what, I'd rather take it less just because I know where I'm going. It's the devil I know, and we're, versus, me going to a miserable organization.
Yeah, you could definitely, give that argument.
Leverage is what that is for Kansas City.
Well, here's the thing, though.
We did this before, Tyreek. We did this before, and what happened? You went to Miami, you ruined your legacy, and
wait a minute, hold on. Hold on now. What was our record last year?
Not good. We have a higher pick than the Dolphins, so that's what you're wondering.
Oh no, I'm just saying. So
6-11, baby.
Okay. So
yeah, but we won 2 rings without Tyreek, though. We're talking about life without Tyreek. We still won 2 rings without him. So
who got hurt?
I wouldn't go back in time for that.
Yeah, who got hurt for us? Torn ACL?
The King, Pat.
Yeah.
Pat. Okay. So these are all negotiation tactics. I'm like, listen, look, I get what you're saying, okay? But I could go to the Jets and make it better. I don't know what they're going to have and what it's going to look like. And, they got, Aaron Glenn. He looks like he might try to do some things differently and whatnot. But Tyreek, look, he's made a whole lot of money in this league, okay? And he's done hit them over the head. Is this about the money now for him? That's the question. Is it really about the money, or is it more, like you said, the legacy chasing to try to get another ring, going back with his boys? I'm telling you what, if you want this story, if you want this championship, I'm Drue Rosenhaus, then you need to sign us for $12 million or 14. Hey, I'm not going to get away of fate. I'm not going to get away of destiny. This is destined to happen. We got released. Now it's in your court. What y'all want to do? Y'all got to pay for that.
And at some point in their Miami tenure, at some point Hill has yelled at Drue for not getting something done with Kansas City in that timeline. It happened at some point. A bad game with Tua. Like, man, why am I not with Kansas City right now, Drue? It's like that. That's happened once or twice. You don't think so? He's done it live to the world. You don't think he's done it to his agent?
Man, he goes home and lay on $30 million. He's sleeping good.
Yeah, but
like that.
I'm sure he'd have a sleep number bed even with $25 million. All right, so I don't want to. It was like from what I heard, it was like a $2.5 million difference, right? $2.5 to $2 million difference between Kansas City's final numbers per year and Miami. I mean,
I don't know. It's what they say. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
If it's
Allegedly.
that, well, my question is this: if it's that, the $2.5 million, I think he would have stayed with KC because it's good money either way. It's good. It's great money. So I
know that's my point.
Yeah, I think it was further away than what they said. It was Miami threw him money he just couldn't turn down. He's like, look, man, and they were just they probably said Beecham was like, look, we just can't do that. Sorry, we just ain't.
Yeah, there were a lot of rumors, but that was definitely one of them. They were pretty. They weren't that far off, but there was just no budging. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. So
and Chris Jones is already making a recruitment little tweet there saying, Cheetah, it's time. So it seems like there is interest on both sides. There's chief players talking about Tyreek, and of course Tyreek talking about us signing Bieniemy, all the things that are going on. Past chief players, Garrett Dieter said bring him home, posted a bunch of photos of Tyreek in Kansas City. So like it's the love and admiration for Tyreek Hill is still there. It's just at the Moneyball Veach can work out a deal with Drew Rosenhaus. That's going to be the factor.
Half of what he was getting, Drew's going to feel like it's a fair deal. Okay, half of what he was getting, and he doesn't want him just signing for 1 year. He wants to be like, hey man, go ahead and do multiple years. Go ahead and do multiple years. Why not?
You might even take less APY for multiple years for the security aspect of it.
He could, yeah. If you do
especially since you're probably paying them season one for probably like half a season. So it's like, hey man, we're going to pay you to rehab for 7 weeks. Like, let's not get greedy about year one money. Okay. Like, he'll be back for that.
I
don't know if I want him. Do you want him rushing back after that though?
Yeah, shoot. If you ready, you ready to go,
man.
Yes.
Well, we better draft a receiver number 1 then, if that's the case.
But look, we're gonna look for some help in that room, right? Because, and that's a good argument. The argument is, do we want to do that or just invest in a younger guy to get here? That's what you want to do. This makes for a great story. But
at least, like we said, at least for this year, with Mahomes coming off the ACL injury, you want to surround him with guys that know him and he knows them. Like I don't think it's the year to go get a young guy. Maybe in the middle rounds of the draft, but going high. I'm against drafting the Lemon types or any of those other guys in that first round.
I think 2 years, slightly backloaded on that second year. Prove you can still be the guy you've been or close to it, and we'll rework that deal and get something done in year 2. And it also saves the Chiefs in case he's like a shell of himself. He's like D-Hop when we got him.
Well, let me ask you, as far as the physical aspect, JD. If they were to work out, let's say this $12 million deal we're speculating on, talking about, they at that point they would give him the physical, and then they would see like if you have passed or not at that point, and then deal would be null. Or when does the physical happen from the point of signing a guy?
You'll have a physical before you get signed.
Okay,
so they go through all the gamut and stuff, but they're not going to be pulling on his leg. They look, and this is the respect of it. They're just saying like, look, we're going to listen to your doctors. We're going to, follow the protocol. Like, we don't have to do too much of it. We got to find out exactly where you are. Where is that, man? I had where I was going to send to, how far along he is. I don't know if I sent that to y'all earlier.
Yeah, you did. I can put it up on the screen.
Yeah. And so this is kind of like his timeline. What they're looking at so far right now. I'm sure they're keeping tabs on it.
Does this factor in the second PCL surgery he needs?
Well, yeah, because it is still being at a timeline that, like, if it's just cleaning stuff up, like that, it just puts you in like a couple more weeks,
I figured he would have said cleanup though, because the cleanup sounds a lot better than just like second surgery. Second surgery sounds pretty scary.
It does, but he's playing.
Or at least Drew would have said that, been like, yeah, it's second surgery, but it's technically a cleanup,
Yeah. So that's what he's saying right now, that he's in phase 3 right now. The longest phase so far, lasting 3 months, includes more aggressive strengthening and some light agility work, including cutting. Since Hill is 5 months removed from his injury in late September, this is likely the phase he is currently progressing through now. So even he stays in phase 3, let's say for another couple of months. Okay. All right. So that is still saying March and April. Phase 4, probably a couple more months. May, June, July, August, we're thinking he's going to be playing somewhere around there. If he and I'm thinking that probably Tyreek he's a fast hiller. I'm sure he's been hitting it hard. Now one thing that we know Tyreek does is take care of his body. He's going to do that. He's agile. I think he does everything right as far as doing that. So they're going to make sure they keep on top of what it is that he's doing. And even if you get a guy like this, right? Okay, where he knows the offense, you don't have to you don't have to teach him anything. Same thing. He knows everything. He's got it all. He's got it all. He could teach those guys, the young guys, on what to do, how to get open, which is going to be another valuable thing. Bringing a veteran player in that everybody's watched play.
Also, personality too.
Yeah,
we know you. That's something Clark said. We already accept you for who you are.
Yeah.
We already love you, and you already love us. So like that whole like getting to know you period, and like, oh, these are the kind of habits you guys have in practice. That stuff's all like you don't have to deal with any of that stuff. Like
right.
That stuff sucks. Like brand new school to join. Like, oh man, first day of school all over again. Orientation. He doesn't have to have any of that. It'll be like he never left, really. So I think that's a huge advantage in him, like starting over, but not really starting over, right? That's the beauty of joining Kansas City.
Yeah, exactly. So if he comes in, and let's just say he is Teja, where he's missed the first 3 or 4 games, and he comes in and he's in phase 5, right? Full competition, he's doing it. You're monitoring everything that he's doing. He's giving you plays, making plays with him, just being Tyreek Hill all over again. As long as there's no setbacks and whatnot, I think you're going to be able to get your money's worth for what you need in this offense, because you need that spark. And like you said, he gives it in the locker room. He gives it out there on the field, personality-wise, all of that. He'll be a model citizen when he gets back to Kansas City. You have to worry about it. Everybody knows who he is. He understands everything works. So are you signed? I would sign that for $12 million. For me, sign me up for $12 million. Absolutely. No doubt about it.
Sure.
With heavy incentives laid into it, I could do it.
$12 million up to how much with incentives?
I don't know. Marcus daggone. You can put I don't know, maybe another 6.
I go 17.
Okay.
Up to 17.
Okay.
$5 million with incentives.
Yeah. Deal. Deal. They could do that. And why go, like you said, why go to a new team? They have to relearn you and all those different things. Rick, all those guys, you are home. You are home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sign me up for 12 and incentives.
Yeah.
Done. We'll have my people call your people.
Mm-hmm.
Glad we got that hammered out in the end.
Hey man, we should do this on a show. Actually, we should like play like 100% role play the 2 different sides and just negotiate it.
Right. Yeah.
We should do it every single free agent we have.
I tell you what, man. Listen, how the negotiation goes in these tables, man. There's some nasty conversations. I just want everybody to know. Okay,
I'm sure.
With these, I've had a conversation that I've had a team send me something. Matter of fact, the Chiefs sent me something. I said, man, you take this and you tell them I want to wipe my tail with this and ball it up and throw it at them. Okay. So we're gonna do low ball. I'm just gonna go and do something just
after eating hot dogs.
After eating hot dogs. I had a big old hot dog that Teja fixed. Got all the fixing sound.
Like, I don't even eat hot dogs, but I'm gonna eat a hot dog just so I can wipe my ass with this contract. That's what. Okay,
yeah, man. Yeah, I was just like, man, that's disrespectful. That's completely disrespectful. It was like, shoot, we just talking silly to each other right now. And so, of course, they had to get their bulldog out, like Teja. That's who Teja would have been at the time, be the bulldog. I mean, he really ain't that good. His knee ain't. I seen him walking from the plane. It looked like he was still had a little gait to him, things like that. But I want my guy to go in and say, no, he's the best thing since sliced bread. That's what we need. So
There's a good chance that we might have a Skylar Thompson type quarterback the first 7 weeks. You're telling me you can't perform with that kind of guy? That worries me a bit for $20 million.
Yeah. Hey. And that would be a point. Well, then, for that $20 million, you know what you're going to get. He's been here before. He's already done it. He's been successful. We can't help that we had the Kyle down the street throwing the ball to him. Came from a high school, whoever his name is. What's his name? Marcus, what's his name again?
Skylar Thompson.
Skylar Thompson.
Yeah. Skylar Thompson.
Mahomes might not play for a little bit. We need to know that you can still show up
I don't know. I think Pat has a higher chance of being there for week 1 than Tyreek does.
No, I know. I'm negotiating. I don't have it doesn't have to be true.
So what's this? Okay, so everybody's talking about Nick Chubb too. So what y'all
Let's talk about Nick Chubb.
No, Bradley Chubb, not
Bradley
Nick Chubb.
Bradley
Chubb. I'm sorry, not Nick Chubb, but Bradley Chubb.
Nick Chubb too. Why not?
Otto Brown says, I appreciate the contribution. He says, wouldn't Bradley Chubb be a bigger free agent signing, especially at 13 to 16 million? He's coming off 2 years ago. He had an ACL injury, I believe. Last year had about 8.5 sacks. A lot of Chief fans really hated this idea. He got a lot of poo-pooing on Twitter today. A lot of people saying, no, I don't want him. I think he's 29 years old. This is a guy that had a lot of trade traction right before the deadline this past year. Would have been our leading sack guy on our team this year. But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on Bradley Chubb? It's an interesting one. A guy who was at a time was one of the elite pass rushers in the league for a little bit. And then, kind of injuries with the Miami and the rest is history. Would you guys be into a Bradley Chubb? And how much would you pay for a Bradley Chubb?
Man.
Round 2, baby. I think he is somewhere in between 2023 and 2025. Like we said earlier with Tyreek Hill, it's tough that first year coming off a knee injury. And this was his first year. He didn't have great PFF pass rushing grades, but he did end up with 8.5 sacks. So if you let's just take the combination of those 2 seasons, right? So you had 13 sacks in 2023, 8.5 last year, 21.5. It's about 10.5 sacks. He was 13th overall in pass rush grade in 2023. He was pretty rough. I think he was 110th. No, he was 78th out of 115 edges. Take the middle between those two, 91, so around 40s. I mean, yeah, I would do that for double digits. I would pay 10 to 12 for that, 10 to 14. Incentives too.
Incentives, yeah. Yeah, I'll be on the low end of the double digits. I'm somewhere around 11, 12 with that. 8.5 sacks. That's pretty daggone good. Should we got Karlaftis is how much is he making? How many sacks he had? What? Did I say something funny?
No, my head was where you were going. My head was already there.
I want to know what kind of sacks those were too, right? Because you see sacks and it's what is that? I want to see what kind of sacks those are too. So that's why it's weird to see 8.5, but his pass rush grade 78. But again, that's his first year after his knee. That's not.
And this was a bad team last year. They were trailing,
and it was bad
games too. So 8.5 when you're probably not getting that many sack opportunities because they're probably running the ball down your throat towards the end of games. But yeah, Karlaftis is 6.5 sacks, about 20-something million a year.
I think so.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think it is. Marcus.
I mean, yeah, then Chubb would be worth 10 million here. I mean, you could flip flop the Karlaftis contract with Chubb, and it'd probably be, I'd probably be okay with that.
Pass rush grade for Karlaftis was 24th last year. Not bad.
And where was Chubb?
78th.
Interesting, huh?
That's why I'm saying I'd love to see his sacks because we don't know what kind of sacks those were. They could have been. They might not have been true passing stats, and it could be a lot of reasons for that. Karlaftis also 29th run defense grade. Chubb 87th. So I mean, we know this, man. Karlaftis is more of a pressure guy than a sacks guy.
Karloff is about 22 a year is what he averages about a year. So
22, yeah. So
we know, and he had 6.5 last year. Okay, they round up, I guess, on PFF. So yeah, I mean, but hey, like half of what Karloff makes, yeah, sure, that's great. I think that's a pretty good deal.
Good deal. Or save your chips and just go hit the draft. Hit the young guys. If you're gonna be serious, be heavy laden into pass rushers and D tackle. Like that's what you're starting your defensive line over. Like you want young guys, and you're saying this is our future. Seriously.
How about both? I wouldn't even care about if it was both. You told me we got Chubb and we still go out in the first 3 rounds and get a pass rush juice from the edge. I'm okay. Let's let you know it's a mimicking league, JD, and everyone is going to be mimicking the Seahawks defense. Okay, D tackles who can rush the passer and also not be bad on the run defense. And a lot of edge rushers. I can come at you and stay fresh. Maybe not all of them are elite, like 15 sack guys, but collectively they stay fresh. They can sack a quarterback at any time, right? Because they're always fresh and you're always constantly coming in. And then you can play 2 high safeties back, and your safeties are one of them is going to be one of the best in the league in a couple of years, or maybe even now. Probably top 5 right now. So I think you're going to see a lot of teams try to emulate that, and that would be the way to do it. Get Chubb, draft a top 3 round the end.
Should get a D tackle too.
Oh yeah, I'm going to talk about edge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, D tackles happen.
Yeah, if you're gonna bolster it, you might as well go ahead and just get free agent, like you said. Get a Chubb if you can for like 11, 12 million a year, and then you get 2 studs in the draft.
I say you go. I'm a big John Franklin Myers fan. I'd love to have Franklin Myers as our shoot the gap pass rushing DT. You go out there, you get a space eater in the draft. I mean, you're talking about Franklin Myers, Omar Norman Lott, Chris Jones, space eater in the top 3 rounds at your DTs, and then your DNs. You got Karlaftis, Chubb, top 3 round DN, and Gelati. I mean, dude, you're cooking with gas. It's a lot of guys to throw at teams.
Since we did our D-line show, I think one of the guys we talked about, defensive tackle, was Tyler Tart from the Chargers, who since then has gotten an extension. 3 years, $37.5 million, $20 million guaranteed. So about $12 million a year.
It's more than his spot track, that's for sure.
Yeah, spot track had him at like 4, I think.
It's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So
I know that's going to do the DT market, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's like what JD said. JD was advocating on this show, what you've been advocating for a while. It's like, yeah, draft is great and all. Get a guy in a draft, but also let's get a combination of some guys that have a proven track record with the draft picks as well. So yeah,
I think you have to. Yeah,
you got to.
Yeah.
It's a pipeline, man. It's a pipeline.
You can't just keep going into the year, into the season every year, relying on these guys to make just jumps out of nowhere. A 4th round guy to be a 10 sack guy. Well, that's not going to happen.
100%. Yeah, that's a dart throw in the dark, and you have to feed the beast today while planning your meals for the week. You know what I mean? So you can't do one or the other. You can't constantly be going into the future because you're not going to win today, and you can't only be going for today because you're not going to win tomorrow. So you have to kind of do both. It's a fine balance.
Yeah. Definitely have a guy that's already, been in the battle, been on the fire, game ready, day one. You don't have to tell him anything. He knows exactly what he needs to do. You know exactly what you're buying. So,
yeah. So with that, let's begin with our linebacker overview for tonight's episode. Talk about, tomorrow and today. We're going to be talking about the guys who are free agents starting in a couple of weeks. But yeah, let's begin with our free agents for this upcoming 2026 offseason. So the Chiefs, Leo Chenal, the headlining guy who's a free agent. And then outside of that, Cole Christensen and our beloved Jack Cochran, the man who can't stop holding on special teams. I think he actually is holding someone right now on the offseason. But Leo Chenal is the guy that people don't want to let go. People want to cut Drue Tranquill, which we'll talk about, the guy who's existing. They want to cut Drue Tranquill in order to keep Leo Chenal in that linebacker room. And my question to you is, I mean, I like to watch these national shows just kind of see how they speak about us, because most of the time they don't really know much about the Chiefs. But I was watching First Things First today, and Willie Colon said that the Chiefs, one of the must guys in this free agency is Leo Chenal. One of the must guys they have to retain is Leo Chenal, which I was impressed that Willie's watched enough Chiefs games to know that Leo Chenal is a difference maker. What do you, is Leo Chenal a must guy for you? I know it's not a top dog everyone talks about for free agency for us, but Leo, I feel like he's been underutilized with us since we've had him. I think that we could have used him a lot more in the way we were using him second half of the season this year. But do you think he is a guy that we must bring back going into this free agency?
Yeah, is he a must? Leo Chenal does a lot for us. Even though he doesn't have the amount of snaps, on defense that would warrant saying a must guy. Then they had to talk about what he's going to get paid. I think they talked about he might be somewhere around like the 10 to 12 range.
Really?
So, yeah, I think so, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought Spotrac had him pretty cheap.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe they had him more around 6. Was it 6?
4.5?
4.5.
4.5? Okay. Well,
he didn't get more than that. It's a bad free agency year for linebackers.
Yeah. So if you're talking 4.5, 5, I like our nucleus of guys we have at linebackers. I'll say this. Let me start out like this. Our linebacker core was probably one of the best groups that we had consistently on the field last year. Okay. And if you look at it, the PFF, right, and we talk what the PFF is for anybody, all our guys were like in the top 25 linebackers in the entire league. So when you sit there and you look at it, this is where they are. So everybody got on Nick Bolton, said he wasn't this and he wasn't that, and Nick Bolton's out there at number 9. Monte Teja before the season was talking about how great he was, Nick Bolton was. And then you see number 14, Drue Tranquill. Look at Drue right up there with him. And then, at number 19, Leo Chenal. So we had 3 solid guys, the top 25 linebackers in the NFL. Solid group. And they played like it last year. Solid group. And now just imagine you get you a consistent pass rush for these guys to handle where you don't see the drop off in the the pass coverage that, everybody worries about with Nick Bolton, those guys. Well, they don't have to carry on a tight end all game if you don't have to. If you're getting pressure like you need to. So my thing is, man, this group is a great group all around. They really are. And I think, man,
pricey though.
Pricey, I mean, but Nick, he's worth that money. Nick is. Is Drue Tranquill? Well, how much is Drue making? Drue ain't making that much money, is he? Well, how much is Drue making?
Drue is the 4th highest paid number 2 linebacker on a team in the NFL.
4th highest? Wow. Okay.
Bolton is the.
I mean, he's making what?
7.5, I think.
Tranquill signed a 3-year, $19 million deal in 2024. So I mean, about 7.5 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's making 7.5. Because his first year was a little lower. This year's a little higher. Bolton's the 2nd highest paid linebacker in the NFL, by the way, into 2026. So 9th looks good, but in comparison to what he gets paid, I don't know. Is it?
Man, he worth every penny. He spags that on the field for what he does for us. We need Nick Bolton. And so the reason he's probably down here at 9th is because of a couple of games. When you look at it, total during the season, he had a couple of bad spots with just covering. Right? One was Detroit, another was Chargers, I think, were the 2. There's another team. But other than that, I mean, he did really well against everybody else. It looked great. I mean, he did. He was all over the field this past year, making plays. And that's why we got him as when he came out of college. I keep going back to this. He was a tackling machine. He was leading SEC tackler and all those good things about Nick Bolton. People didn't like him because he's 5'11", 237. but he makes plays. He's all over the place. Other linebackers see it. I noticed it as, being a former tight end, it's sucker that plays ball. So he probably would have been higher, Tage, if we helped out, like I said, in the pass rush a little bit more, where you're not just covering a tight end all the time and just leaving him out there. You don't want him. We don't have to do that. Maybe it's something Bassa does come in and he gives us some of that, right? We'll talk about him, I'm sure. But as far as just these three guys, these past year, they look good. They all look good.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, so what do you think? Do you think Leo Chenal is a must sign? What do you think?
So I have some just overall stats. So 10% of our cap goes to our linebackers before we re-sign Chenal. That's the third highest in the NFL before re-signing one of our starting linebackers. That's a lot of money to go to linebackers. It's a lot. I already said Bolton and Tranquill being where they are on the list. There's different options. I like Chenal a lot, and I do want to re-sign him. I mean, if he's $4 million, then $4 million a year, then that's not even a question. I think the options going from re-signing him would be: do you re-sign him? Do you cut Tranquill to get back $6 million? And then do you look for another will linebacker? Because, Chenal's been a pretty good Sam. I think he's played 40% of his snaps in base D. He also plays special teams. He's one of the best special teamers on our team, actually. He's blocked kicks before. So he's, considering he doesn't play full time, because his Achilles heel is coverage. Even though his pass coverage grades are not bad, actually. He was 11th PFF pass coverage grade at a linebacker. That's pretty damn good. His bread and butter is pass rush and run defense. He's stout, right? He's 6'3", 250. He's a tank. I personally re-sign Chenal. I part ways with Tranquill. I would maybe see if you can get Bassa and another guy in here to battle it out for the will linebacker spot. We need to be better on coverage, especially on third downs. We get tight ends and running backs have had our numbers the past 3 years, and it's partly because pass rush is a problem. But that's kind of what linebackers are asked to do now, especially from your will, and you hope your middle linebacker can. But that's not it. That's not a given all the time. Everyone always expects nowadays, Bolton can't guard anybody. Well, middle linebacker, this by nature, aren't supposed to be guarding guys on islands, right? No. He's better in zone, obviously, than he is on man to man. He can't stick with a speed. He can't stick with a Rondé Gadsden going on a streak route. That's not going to happen. I don't fault Bolton for not being able to do that. We know that already. It's your job as a defensive coordinator and overall defense to not put him in that position. So, do I think personally, moving forward, that Bolton could eventually be replaced by someone with a little more coverage skills who can still defend the run and not cost 20-something million at that point? Yeah, you can sell me on that, but I think Chenal's I'd love to have him. In my offseason plans that I have us re-signing him. I don't think he's going to be as cheap as 4.5, but because the market's rough. But I think even up to 6 or 7, I think he'd be a good deal.
So I think Boss is a great change of pace. He would be your will linebacker for sure, just by his size, his athletic ability. McDonald was another solid linebacker. We have him. I think he proved himself that you could kind of say see you later with a couple of them. And Leo's kind of he's not really a natural pass rusher, a little stiff. We just have him do some different things because we had to do that last year with him standing up a little bit, playing defensive tackle standing up. And so that was just scheming different offenses up. But I like his versatility. So I do like, the $4 to $6 million for Chenal. I do like that. And maybe get him out there on the field a little bit more than what he has been, I think is a good thing too. But
I to your point with the way Spags is utilizing him, that was the versatility was the way, when he came out of college at Wisconsin, that was the way he was utilizing college. It was oh man, we got a guy who can pass rush, you can do a lot of different things. You can play D tackle, you can play on the edge. And hopefully they do bring him back. Hopefully they allow him to kind of excel in what he's good at versus trying to fit a square into a circle, peg box. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, you got to utilize this guy's strengths. If they are going to pay him $4 to $6 million, keep him and play him in what he's good at. Like, don't just try to make him be something that he's not. So that's one thing. Jack Cochran, you guys good on him? I'll take the silence and say, all right, you guys are
man,
good.
Jack's had a little time here. I think they're ready to move on from Jack.
Yeah. Dave Tope definitely is. His job was on the line with number 43 over there.
One of the comments.
Just wait till this all season. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be the one to pull the trick on you. You out of here, buddy.
To one of the comments, Daniel, Leo gets Tranquill role, Bassa gets Leo's role, not rocket science. Well, it is, I guess, rocket science because you can't give Leo full-time will linebacker. He can't be chasing tight ends and running backs in coverage, man. That's not his strength, never has been. And you just wouldn't want to pay him to do that. He sticks at Sam. It's just that's his role. He knows his role. He's a Swiss Army knife. He defends the run. He can shoot up the middle of a blitz. I think that's his best blitzing. Just rep the gut. And I think that's a great role for him. And he can still stay on special teams because you don't play your Sam all the time in the NFL anymore. Especially when you go to nickel on like third downs, right? But yeah, Tranquill, I am still and he's 31, turning 32, so that's another reason.
Was that Tranquill? 32.
Yeah.
And by the way, we'll get there in a minute. Actually, I won't even say it now.
Well, let's get to it. So, and Daniel says, Jack, want to be a water boy? Well, I guess if they don't bring back Cochran, Tope can say, well, I see they kept me on, not you, buddy. I got to stay. They didn't take both of us. All right, so the guys who are returning, linebacker room. So obviously Nick Bolton just signed a new deal last year. Tranquill for right now. Jeffrey Bassa, a guy that everyone wanted to see, didn't really get a lot of playing time last year. Cooper McDonald, who JD was a huge fan of him preseason, and they try to get this guy on the field a lot. Undrafted guy out of TCU. And then two names that we signed towards the end of the season, Tyreek Smith and Cam Arnold. But of course, Brandon George, the linebacker from Pitt that everyone thought was going to be the next Leo, who didn't really show a lot of flashes during preseason. Just people that really liked his build and his athleticism based on his RAS score. But Tyreek Smith and Cam Arnold. Tyreek Smith, I believe, came from the Commanders, and Cam Arnold came from the Seattle Seahawks. Those are two linebackers we signed. Obviously, probably more preseason guys. We may not ever see these guys play. But nonetheless, the top guys, Bolton, Tranquill, Bassa, McDonald, those are the ones we'll be talking about here. So we just mentioned Drue Tranquill. They could potentially get out of his contract and save about $7 million. A lot of prognosticators are predicting that the Chiefs would do that as a part of their ways to get back under the cap. He'd be one of the guys to go. Do you guys think that is where they end up going, getting rid of Tranquill?
I think it's a big possibility. I do. Just because, like, when I was talking about the nucleus of guys, if Tranquill's gone, then Bassa for sure fills that role. And I think really you get Bassa in the draft for that reason, because of some of our inefficiencies that we had shown in the past. So, but I don't know anything about these other guys, Tyreek Smith and Cam Arnold. Brandon George was kind of another guy that I don't know.
Well, still,
the guy. Is it Brandon George? Is he the guy from Pitt?
He was a guy from Pitt who had a really good RAS score. That everyone looked
Okay. I mean, one thing I did realize doing all this linebacker research, we have a lot of linebackers compared to other teams, man. We might have I think top 5 most linebackers on our squad. We have a lot of dudes.
It's a lot, man. We have more linebackers than we have tight ends and receivers combined, or running backs.
Have more linebackers than O-line.
It's on par.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, if they like one of these guys enough, I mean, they might just say bye Tranquill and bye Leo, I noticed a lot of those teams with really expensive top end linebackers tend to save more of their second ones. That's why we're top three teams allocating funds to linebackers, because most teams don't, give a lot of money to two of their guys unless they're just like absolute knockout studs.
Yeah.
I gotta say too, Tranquill 14th overall in PFF grades. Like for his contract, it's pretty good.
It's good. Yeah, no, it was good. I was impressed. I didn't know he was that high up.
Yeah, the problem is it's just coverage, though, because if he's got a low coverage grade and Bolton has a low coverage grade, and we already established Chenal is your really run-stopping blitz Swiss Army knife, there's a reason why we're getting obliterated by running backs and tight ends all the time. So it's like it's proof's there. And yes, I completely agree with you. Pass rush will help that a lot. But not every linebacker that's got bad pass rush not every team that has bad pass rush has a linebacker with a bad coverage grade. So I think that can be upgraded. Do they think Bassa can come and do that? I mean, maybe. I'd still like to see a Will come in and give him a competition. The way Bassa played last year, which is hardly. You can't just hand that guy starting position, unless he just comes ready to go off the bus in the offseason. Otherwise, you're gonna have to get competition for him.
Oh,
competition.
You guys don't think Boss is automatically handed one of the starting linebacker spots if they do get rid of Drue Tranquill?
No way.
He's definitely. They've seen him all year. They've seen him all year, and so I would think for him being the pick, what they were last year, I'm thinking they would say, well, look, let's just go ahead and move on from Tranquill and just ride with Bassa. The last game of the season, he looked decent. He did look decent. Looked like he knew what he was doing. The question is, does he have it all down? Does he have it all down? And he did well on special teams. If you got a guy like this that you do believe in, I think they believe in him. I do. I just think maybe you're just not better than Tranquill. We're not going to play you if you're not better than the guy. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing too. Hey, okay, yeah, you're a talented guy, but the guy in front of you is much more talented and he's more solid than you. So he gets the nod. He gets the nod. He plays. And that's probably another reason at the end, let's not put Tranquill in. Bassa, let him come in. Tranquill didn't want to get hurt just in case we had to do whatever. So
I just feel like you would have seen more snaps throughout the year if that's what we were leaning toward. Especially when our season was lost. Not benching a guy, but I figured his snaps would have gone.
They did. That last game of the season when they put everybody on IR and Tranquill was one of the guys.
Dude, our season was over by week 9. What do you mean last game of the season?
Yeah, but I'm saying Tranquill was amongst those in that last game, which we all talked about that being the game where it was not tryout game, but the game where it was pretty much a preseason game. That was the game where they benched Tranquill and they let Bassa kind of play in that game and be that guy.
Yeah, last game of the season. When you have about 8 games where you could have given them way more playing time, or at least start upticking it.
It was 3 or 4.
When were we eliminated?
After
before week 16, dude.
The Chargers game was the game where it was done.
Yeah.
So I think we had 3 or 4 games after that.
So compare it like this, right? Compare it to when Willie Gay was here and Drue Tranquill came. And you're sitting there saying, well, Willie Gay wasn't that much better than Tranquill. So Tranquill had to come in. They was looking to phase him out, kind of immediately. They're paying him. And they were saying, well, Tranquill was just as good as Willie Gay.
I thought we drafted Chenal to take over Willie Gay. Same year. We let Willie go and we drafted Chenal, right?
No, we brought Tranquill in to take over Willie's part. That's why we let Willie walk. Willie walked because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But Willie was, that's what Drue Tranquill was. That's what we loved him for that. So that's why we resigned him for another deal.
Yep.
And so for this one, it's the same thing. Like with Bassa, well, you're not necessarily better than Tranquill. We had to see if you're better than Tranquill, but we seen just in the grading in itself, those guys justified why nobody was playing ahead of them. But this whole offseason, okay, yeah, we can move on from Tranquill. We can move on from him and get Bassa in here. like you said, we're trying to save money. If we saving money and we want to give it to Chenal to keep Chenal here, go with the younger guy. You know, I kind of like what you said reasoning wise, Teja, because it does make sense. If Tranquill is older, take that money that you get from him, put it in Chenal's pocket. You're not losing anything with Bassa. You just got a starter. So,
yeah, I don't know. I'd still have competition. I don't think Boston didn't show enough in one game to get a starting position. I mean,
wait, you're saying a draft linebacker? Or you're saying to sign a linebacker when you say competition?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Who's going to be
the I would draft like a top 3-4 round linebacker. Yeah.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Sure.
It's a lot. That's a lot of resources going to linebacker, as you've already said.
We're paying linebacker.
You commented on the amount of linebackers we have. Now you want to draft a top 4 round guy?
Yeah, I'm replacing a guy whose cap hits like $15 million with a player whose cap hits going to be like $2 million. That is saving resources, dude. What do you mean?
But even you already said though, like Bolton's already getting paid top 2 money at linebacker, right?
That's why Tranquill's got to go.
Right, and that's fine. But now we have 7 other linebackers in the room right now. And you want to draft a top 4 round guy to that also on top of what we already have?
And you got
because Boston's a mystery right now. He's a mystery. He played one game last year.
He ain't a mystery to them. They seen him all year. They see him.
And what they saw all year didn't warrant playing time till week 17, and that ain't good.
No. Only time you're playing time over Drue Tranquill is because it's like, okay, this is the last time let these guys play. But he wasn't better than what Drue was playing last year. So you can't let him play over a guy who's playing better than him or a guy that's more solid than him. Now, Bassa's waiting in the wind to get his chance and opportunity, and here it is. And so they're probably sitting there saying, like, look, we can move on from Drue Tranquill, what we've seen in practice, what we've seen in the last game, but what we've seen all year, we think it could get the job done, right?
Wait, hold on. So you're saying if you're Veach and you're talking to the coaching staff, these guys plan ahead. They probably know Tranquill's gone. You're not going to start to work Bassa in before week 17, at least like 5% of snaps, 10% of snaps. Like you're going to only play him one game at the end of the year when you think he's going to be your starter next year. That's bad management, in my opinion. Then
well, you don't know he's gone. You don't quite know that.
No, I'm saying if that's their plan, they know Tranquill is on the way out and Bassa is going to probably be your starter next year. I would figure they'd give him playing time before week 17, even if it's just not taking Tranquill's job, but like an uptick, like get him in the rotation a little more, have him play some more snaps here and there. That's all. I would expect a little more life out of him, right?
So we're talking, like you said, the Chargers game is where it's going to be out of. So we don't have 3 more games left from there. And he's
sure.
Playing special teams, and I don't know. They could have easily done that, but maybe they were still thinking like maybe we could still keep Drue here. Maybe we don't.
Yeah, if Drue's here this year, upcoming year, then all that's thrown out. Like they all make sense now. Right. Well, kind of, because next year he'll be 33, and his cap will be even bigger. So you probably need to definitely get rid of him next year. But yeah, next year then you do work Bassa in more throughout the season because he will be kind of taking over that role the following year. That makes total sense to me. But if they already know that Tranquill was probably going to be cut for cap casualty reasons, I just figured they'd give his successor more playing time.
I mean, shoot, maybe
benching Tranquill.
No, I'm saying maybe doesn't need it. Maybe they got enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, it happens. I mean, guys, they know what they got in the guy, and they trust it. Like, we're gonna move on from Tranquill because we believe Bassa is the next one coming in. He's going to be the guy.
I'm getting a lot of backlash about drafting a linebacker top 4. So let me give you guys a quick history lesson.
I don't know about that.
I'm giving it Bernie Mac. Hold on, JD. I'm giving it Bernie Mac. Sit down. Let me tell you a story. We have drafted Bolton, second round pick. Leo Chenal was a 3rd round.
I think so.
Willie Gay was a 2nd round.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys, strap in. Prepare yourselves for a linebacker to be drafted pretty high coming soon, especially if we're getting rid of 1 to maybe 2 of our starters. We are. Don't be shocked at all if we drafted.
One star in this situation.
One star.
Maybe.
I think we all agreed that Drew's probably gone. Leo's staying, so that's the scenario we're going with.
Yeah, that money just moving to Leo. Yeah, money's just moving
that's
to
fine
Leo.
then.
Yeah, we're not now. If you get rid of 2, then it makes a lot of sense.
100%.
But the one who's been in here in the culture, who's been around Spags, who's seen Nick Bolton and see how guys operate in that room. They're saying, okay, look, we could probably move on from Drue Tranquill. We'll give the young guy a chance. Even though he's been here for an entire year, we're going to trust him. And to be honest with you, I think because he came out from Oregon, that he had a lot of great things that was being said about him.
Totally. Yeah. I like Bassa. I like him for the draft. Sure.
So I think they know he's the guy. He's going to be the guy.
Also, and I said this earlier, Bolton, second highest paid linebacker in the league, APY this season. If you're going to plan ahead and be cap aware, looking for a middle linebacker replacement is not crazy either. And by that, I mean you draft a guy who can play Will, but who also has the bones to play middle linebacker, and you maybe slide him over in a year or two. You got to plan ahead for those kind of things. You can't draft and go into free agency every year just trying to fill in your gaps and holes for that season. Good GMs and good management, they plan a year in advance, sometimes 2 years in advance. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. So we're talking about a guy who could possibly take over for someone saving $15 million next year. That's a big replacement. So yes, you would want to draft a higher guy. I mean, I said 3rd or 4th. I mean, geez, I didn't say draft Sonny Styles in the first round.
Yeah, I was going to say, until that guy comes into the room, then it's not even a conversation. You got to get a guy that can replace that. You see it right there? Replace being Spags' brain.
Yeah, Bolton was a rookie at one point.
Everything. Yeah, that's why he's so valuable.
But we didn't really have allocate a lot of resources to linebackers before Bolton. We had Anthony Hitchens and like Damian Wilson.
We paid Hitchens a lot of money, dude. What do you mean?
But they weren't good linebackers though. They were rated poorly.
That's a different story though. Whether they're good or not, totally different.
But Bolton is the dude in Spags' eyes. Anthony Hitchens was not the dude in Spags' eyes. He was the veteran linebacker they had. I mean, like there was no
top paid highest linebacker. It's still allocating resources though. It's not like he wasn't a bargain.
It's a different scenario though. I mean, like this is like the Patrick Mahomes of our linebacking core right here. They're just gonna like draft a guy to replace him the following year. I mean,
you should draft any guy. Well, I mean, again, it has to all fall in place. You don't just say I'm going to draft a middle linebacker in the 2nd round. If a guy is falling, let's say at your pick, and you're like, well, we do have Bolton's $28 million coming up in a couple of years. I mean, hey, like this guy could play Will for us for a year, and then maybe slide into Bolton's role. Yeah, you're gonna. He has to be a special player. I'm not just saying get any bum here. I'm saying you have to replace him with a cerebral leader on defense. And before you go to the next page or 2 pages from now, it's bad in some respects and positionally. It's a really good linebacker year in this draft. A lot of good leaders, a lot of good middle linebackers who are extremely versatile and athletic and can also cover people. So
Bassa was one of the best leaders in that last year's draft. He was also one of the best highest rated linebackers in that last year.
And I think he would be your Will.
Right, but you're also saying to like draft a guy to compete with him and like not just give him the job right out the gate, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, dude, I'm not going to – I mean, do you guys want to compete for a playoff spot or do you guys want to go back to the Super Bowl? Like, I'm sorry, I'm not hitching my entire Will linebacker wagon to Bassa. I'm not doing like that. I mean, like, you need competition in here. Like, come on now. I mean, come on. No way. I'm sorry. Me as a fan, that doesn't instill a lot of confidence in me trying to go back to a championship. We're just trying to be, like, back to the playoffs, Chiefs, back in the old Alex Smith days. Sure, yeah, Boston's great. Fill it in and hope for the best, guys.
So, okay, I disagree with that. I do, and the reason I disagree with it is because if I'm looking at practice and I'm looking at what I get out of Tranquill and Bassa at practice, okay, and this is where they're comparing those 2 guys more so than anything else. Practice in meeting rooms. What is he understanding? How's he getting, how's he processing information here? Okay, making plays. I'm asking you, Bassa, what would you do on this play? How do you see this? And so Bassa's just been learning from one of the best core group of linebackers in the league, 3 of them right there, top 25.
Yeah.
He's been learning from these guys. So he fits right into this group immediately. And so as a linebacker, and you're playing wheel, you're going to be somewhat protected because what we're going to do is we're going to fortify D line. Hopefully we get some people behind you as well. And so if we're asking you right now what you need to do, and just that little, what we was able to see on TV, on film, he did a good job. He did a good job. And I'll tell you this, Teja. So as we're speculating here, we'll just watch. We'll watch how the Chiefs really think about it. If they let Drue Tranquill walk and they keep
Leo.
Yeah, they keep Leo and keep Bassa, that's what they've been thinking all along. They're saying we can get the same productivity from Bassa that Tranquill gave. Now, it'd be a different story if Tranquill was that much better than Bassa, right? And that's why he said, that's why we drafted him. If he was just that much better, then it'd be a different story. But I think they believe they have the same thing in the room of Bassa, at least close to it, what Tranquill was able to give. Same thing, we let Willie walk. Willie wanted a big contract. We let Willie walk. Hey, man. Then all of a sudden, teams wouldn't even sign him Willie. They wouldn't even. Willie thought he was going to get a whole lot of money.
Well, by that logic, get rid of Bolden and just make Tranquill your middle linebacker. He's only 3 behind him on PFF. It's not a very big drop off for 20 less million.
It's a huge drop off. It is. It's a huge drop off. Because playing middle linebacker and then you out here at will, Nick Bolton don't miss a whole lot of tackles.
I think Tranquill filled in pretty nicely for Bolton when he was out, though. No, 2 years ago.
Did he?
Wasn't Bolton out for like 3-4 games 2 years ago?
Who do we give $20 million to?
Doesn't mean it was right.
Sure, yeah. No,
it doesn't.
They was willing to put their money where they thought it was going to it worked the best.
Sure,
okay?
yeah. They
believe that. Now I'm saying if they believe that, then they wouldn't have never signed Bolton to that long-term deal. They wouldn't have never given him the money if they thought they really had it. Now coming in filling in was great. Shoot, I mean Cochran came in and filled in for Bolton. Okay, in the couple games.
So did Cam Jones too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It just seems like it's kind of like out of both sides because in one end, they wouldn't have given him money if they didn't think he was worth it. But on the other end, they didn't play Bassa, but they still think he's worth it to take over a position without playing him except for one game last year. So it's kind of like, if they thought he was worth it, they would have given him more playing time. Like that was my point on Bassa.
I do find it interesting that you were saying to draft because you were playing when we did our pre-draft shows last year. You said you wanted to draft Bassa. I remember that was one of the guys you wanted.
Yeah,
and you said
absolutely.
Because we saw Leo's contract coming up, they potentially out of Drue Tranquill's contract, and
100%.
now we get to this point. Now you're saying, oh, we need to bring in another guy to compete with Bassa because you're not. I mean, I just don't understand.
What's wrong with competition though? I'm not saying wave Bassa. When the hell did I say that? I said what's wrong with competition?
It's allocating more resources to a position that I think we're already pretty fine at. Especially
because
we paid Leo and we had Bolden and we drafted Bassa and a relative steal pick last year in the 4th round. I mean,
because since then, our coaching staff didn't have enough faith in him to play him before week 17. That doesn't instill a lot of confidence in me giving him a position next season. That's my counterpoint to you saying that was the plan. Yeah, that was the plan before last draft. I still see that as a plan this draft too, though. But this time instead of Drue, it's possibly with Bolton. Because we have a lot of holes, guys. I don't know if you've seen our roster. We do the show every week. We have a lot of holes. Every single position group, we have an overpaid player, a bunch of unpaid players. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't have the second highest paid middle linebacker on a team with so many holes. It just doesn't jive with me.
Okay. But it depends on what holes you're trying to fill. I think we're trying to address that in the draft, and we're going to get some in free agency. Like I said, the most consistent group that we had last year was a linebacker group. And so one of the guys, because we were so consistent, I do believe they're saying, well, we could probably let this guy right here walk if we're getting a defensive end, another defensive tackle who's going to help those linebackers out even more. And Bassa, who I'm taking your words, was a great coverage guy.
Yeah.
We're going to put money in him. We're going to let you cover the tight ends and the running backs, as opposed to letting Drue Tranquill, who was getting beat on him, and Nick Bolton. We're going to put it to Bassa. Let him do it. You know?
And all I'm saying is, if a really good, versatile linebacker, like about 4 to 5 in the draft, fall to us at a certain draft position, I would not be upset as most of the people in the chat are taking him, especially if it's replacing other players that we can't afford soon. The same Trent McDuffie conversation. You telling me we can get rid of McDuffie willy-nilly, but Bolton can't be got rid of? McDuffie's a better player than Bolton is. And it's not even an argument. It's an all-pro. It's a multi-time all-pro. That's not even a conversation. So if we can get rid of him to go for other positions, then we can get out of Bolton's contract and save $15 million to get other positions. That's why no one's untouchable on this team anymore. We're past that.
But they obviously see Bolton as a fixture of the defense, hence why they paid him. They don't want to pay McDuffie, and they don't want to pay any cornerbacks. They see linebacker.
And we paid Joe Thuney and traded him 5 years later. Okay, so it happens.
Okay, so we have 4 years left with Bolton then, because we just paid him last year.
Well, we extended him. He's already been with us for 6 years.
I know.
And I'm not saying get rid of him this year. I'm saying if those things align. Don't go into the draft saying, come hell or high water, we're drafting a linebacker this round because Bolton's expensive. No, if you're in a draft and there's a guy falling, we're like, hey, let's not remove that position off the board because, this guy can come in, play Will with Bassa and give him competition and maybe even take his job because he's extremely good at that. And then maybe this is a guy who can slide into MLB next year if Bolton is just too costly for us at that point. I'm saying just have an open mind, but everyone's shutting down taking linebacker. That's all.
Well, I'm just saying, we're conjuring up scenarios, and you could definitely do something like that, right? The question is, where is your priority? The reason that you could do with Nick Bolton because it's only $20 million as opposed to paying Trent, astronomical amount of money. Okay, that's why you don't invest into a Trent McDuffie. Okay, you do a better job going ahead and trading him and getting something off of the back end, maybe to get that linebacker, right? And say,
exactly.
Maybe we can get the linebacker. 100%.
Yeah,
maybe we can get that guy. And so the thing is, Paige, like I said, and I'll say it again, until we get that guy in the building and we know who that guy is, Nick Bolton ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Totally agree. Agree. I'm not giving him his walking papers. We have no one to replace him with right now. Yeah, 100%. And it's not a good linebacker free agency. It's not a good linebacker free agency. So that's another reason. So yeah, you're kind of going to have to add it in the draft.
Well, priority-wise, I think that's why everybody was saying we don't know about that. Priority-wise, I don't think linebackers are priority for us. Matter of fact, it's at the very bottom of a list of who you get.
100%.
Because we have so many holes, like you said, a lot of other areas. Linebacker is probably the last one we want to go seek out.
Hey man, I wasn't happy with the Willie Gay or Leo Chenal selection in the moment anyway. So, like I said, as much as we might hate it today, I'm just saying, don't be shocked if you see linebacker selected over your favorite receiver or edge rusher, guys. Guys. I mean, guys. Everyone really.
Yeah. Hey, shoot, they could. Hey, they might get a kicker in the second round.
Hey, second round, no. But if we get extra picks, I wouldn't be against that either. We can't afford the second highest paid special teamer in the NFL. We don't have the luxury anymore.
Right.
And one that's not on the top of his game anymore either.
No, 100%. Same conversation, really. Same exact conversation to be had. I know one's a kicker and one's a middle linebacker. I'm not discussing the importance of either guy.
Right. You
say they've both been vital to our championships. That's inarguable. But it's the same thing. We just don't have the luxury to pay certain guys the money they're making. And you paid them, it happened, but there's get out years for reasons to help GMs be able to move money around and figure out where you can get something back for them.
Well, I guess the question would be, can you find that guy that is going to be in the 4th round, like you're talking about, that would replace a Nick Bolton? I don't think we do. I don't think you find a guy like that because
we'll get there. We'll get there soon.
I mean,
I don't know.
Shoot, you want to pull him up then? Yeah, pull him up.
Now, whoever I tell you, I'll be texting you in like a week, JD. Watch this guy.
Yeah, I know.
This guy replacing Bolton. This guy replacing Bolton.
Not a chance. No. Ain't passing it. No.
I will say I think it's more recency or regional bias, but there is a guy in the rookie prospects that a lot of Chief fans think he could be the next Nick Bolton. And it's because he went to Mizzou as well. So yeah. So there's that too. But
he's a liability in coverage too. So it's a really great Nick Bolton replacement.
Mizzou has a type.
To a T, it will be his replacement.
All right, so let's get to our free agents. Like as Teja kind of mentions, kind of a not the best year as far as linebacker free agents, but these are the linebacker free agents of the 2026 free agency class. Devin Lloyd, we obviously saw him dominate. I don't think we're gonna go for any of the top guys here, but it's just the top to bottom list. Devin White was a guy who was awesome with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in the day, and then he kind of went through a rough patch in his career. Came back to the Raiders this year and looked awesome, revitalized his career. I think he has set the franchise record with tackles in a single season, which is pretty good, right? Knowing the Raiders' linebacking history. But, yeah, guys, what do you make of the free agency class for the linebacker position?
Actually looks pretty good. There's some good names on here. Some really good names.
Take out guys over the age of 33. That about cuts it in half, don't it?
Well, it does, but look, you got Matt Milano is a good linebacker. Nakobe Dean's a good linebacker. Quay is just I thought he's let me see. I mean, Devin Lloyd, Demario Davis is good. What are they looking for Demario for? How much?
Demario Davis 9.4 and Devin Lloyd's 20.1. So it's a big drop off. Devin Lloyd's number 1 at 20, and then Demario Davis at 9.
Mario, all you have to do is give him lunch and cover his AARP costs, and you got him, dude. It's like 39 years old, that guy, man.
I know it. Bobby Wagner's another one too.
He's up there too.
Bobby was killing it last year. Sucker just showing you how it's done, man. Alex Anzalone, Detroit. He's a good linebacker.
I think Anzalone's would be a good Chenal replacement. I think Stranad from Denver, another good Chenal replacement. 72 PFF grade, blitzed really well, racked up 17 pressures. That's the kind of guy you're looking at, maybe a Sam replacement.
Looking at Anzalone's according to Spot Track, they have him making around 7.2. So based on their Spot Track, he's a little bit more than Leo Chenal based on their projections.
We'll keep Leo for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's Stranad's?
Stranad build is pretty low on the list. Stranad was 3.8, so he's lower than Leo.
Okay.
So there's that as well.
What about
EJ Speed, he was EJ Speed 4.7, so a little bit above Leo. Yeah. It's interesting though. There are a lot of old linebackers on this list that just now is occurring to me. Yeah.
But they good, man. They still good.
Oh yeah, I mean, shoot. I think Wagner's probably. I think he was based on the rankings. I think he was ahead of Nick Bolton. I think he was like a top 8 linebacker last year.
Oh, he was.
I mean, he's unreal.
Yeah.
And Levante, I think, had some injury problems last year, but still was a beast linebacker as well. I'm a huge Levante David fan.
Yeah, good linebacker.
Milano has his own injury problems. He's a good linebacker when he's healthy for Buffalo, but he's got his own injury issues. Would you guys be Nakobe Dean fans or no?
I like Nakobe Dean, man. I like Nakobe Dean. He just got, he got the injury. That slowed him down, but he's a hell of a linebacker. A hell of a linebacker. That joker could ball out. But then all of a sudden you had, what's his name? Ball-headed dude. What's his name?
Bond?
Yeah. Just, what are you going to do with that? Sorry, Willie Pip is what that is.
Yeah, exactly. Teja, any names stand out to you? I know you said Strenad and Anzalone were the two.
Yeah, it depends who you're trying to replace them with. If you're going to replace Chenal, then a guy who's not a liability in run defense, but who can also blitz in a more of a part-time role. I think you'd go Anzalone or Strenad if you're trying to go a little on the younger side. I think Anzalone's like 31.
These are Leo replacements?
These are Leo replacements.
Who would be Drue replacements?
Well, Bassa, baby. What are you guys talking about, Marcus? What do you mean? Bassa's got the thing locked down, and no one replacing Bassa.
Hey, man. I'm just following your pre-draft coverage from last year. That's what I'm going by.
That's what I know, but that's why I haven't even been thinking about Tranquill replacement.
I like Bassa. I like Bassa being a guy. Take over.
Yeah, I wouldn't if you're trying to save money with Tranquill's replacement or with Tranquill cutting. That's why I think it's got to be a draft or just let Bassa have it. I just don't think you're gonna save $7.5 million and have some dead cap and then sign another guy for like $6 million. It just doesn't make much sense to me, right? Now if Chenal goes out and gets like a big contract, then it's like, okay, yeah, try to find like a bargain guy to replace the Sam with, right? At that point. But if you're gonna just go dollar for dollar, I think we all know Tranquill's not going to go anywhere if you're just going to do a dollar for dollar replacement. Because I think Tranquill, if he was a free agent, would probably be like top 3 on a lot of these lists. You know what I mean?
Mm. All right.
I'm looking at all these names, man. A lot of these guys ain't even in the top 25.
Yeah.
The older ones are like. That's why I like the Mario Davis, man. It's like a steal up there.
You mean PFF?
Yeah.
Strenad's 24.
Yeah.
Run defense grade 58th, pass rush grade 12th. Give us a little juice in that regard. I'm glad you enjoy it.
People love the feistiness on the show tonight.
Hey man, it's linebacker time. It's gonna be a rough and tough room, man. Linebackers gotta be physical.
This guy's obviously
Harris.
Either a Broncos fan or he really just doesn't like our roster makeup. I don't know. But Clifton Harris, Broncos 13-4, Raiders 7-10, Chargers 6-11, and then Chiefs 2-15. Wow.
Oh yeah, cool. He's definitely a Broncos fan.
It has to be.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at least you added up the number of wins and losses correctly. Being a Broncos fan.
Samantha, what Pleacher said, I like Willie Gay. We need speed in that room. Willie runs a 4.4 and he's a thumper. The only problem with that, Samantha, he gets lost in coverage. He goes a loose cannon. We can't.
He's out chasing butterflies, man.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's get to. We're gonna get to rookies now. We're gonna get to the draft process. Teja thinks are gonna take over Nick Bolton's spot in a year. So I can't wait to hear what Teja has to say with the draft prospects. Obviously, this draft, Arvell Reese and Sonny Stowers are big names everyone's a huge fan of. In the Chiefs world, just going on Twitter over the last few weeks, the two names I hear a lot are Josiah Trotter and Jacob Rodriguez. Those are the two names that Chief fans love. Jacob Rodriguez of Texas Tech and Josiah Trotter of the Mizzou of Missouri. So, any names of guys that we should kind of put on our list as we go through draft season, as you guys have kind of looked at or seen over the last few weeks?
I hadn't even looked at this because I know our group was so solid, to be honest with you. Now, Trotter, obviously, I know him because I played with his dad. And so, I love to see him go anywhere. He would. I mean, sure, he would. He's a hell of a player.
Is that Jeremiah? Is that another Trotter, a son of Trotter's?
Jeremiah Trotter's son, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, there was the one that was drafted 2 years ago. That's his other son.
That's right.
Oh, wow, whole linebacker factory over there.
Yeah,
Wow.
man.
A lot of people thought. A lot of people were saying that he should have gone back. He shouldn't have come out this year. Say just a little too raw. He's a redshirt sophomore. This thing is coverage needs to develop a little more. He's just a big liability in coverage. Staying one more year may have helped that develop a little bit, but he can win with power. He's an old school downhill mauler middle linebacker. Just needs to get just a little better in coverage before he can be a true 3-down player. So yeah, maybe he is the heir apparent to Bolden. Him 1 year behind Bolden. See, the problem is you got him. Like, that's a true backup, right? Like, this is my whole thing, right? If you draft Trotter, very talented player, does need work, it's a project. He's a project middle linebacker. What do you? I mean, like he's not going to play in coverage. So what are you going to do? I mean, maybe try and play Sam. Like, if you get rid of Chenal, I mean, and then maybe take over middle linebacker once he develops in a year or two. There's that possibility. But that's hard to argue, right? Because I think that's drafting like a top 4 round backup, and we can't afford that really right now.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like, we have too many priorities, other places, as opposed to going this route.
That I agree with.
Yeah, you can wait till next year, till the next class comes out and say, "Oh, what? Now we want to address it. Let's get the guys that we actually need in this room right now." And unless there's somebody, Tage, in that 4th round that you just cannot pass up. So my question to you, okay, of these guys right here, right, going with your argument, there's a couple of guys that you say you would draft in the 4th round that could replace a Nick Bolton.
4th round specifically.
Yeah, 4th or 3rd. Shoot, you said before the 4th round, didn't you?
He did say like 5. He says there's 5 guys who could do it in the rounds 3 or 4.
I said first. I said 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, and everyone kind of like had a heart attack over it. And then I said,
"I'm writing these names down." Go ahead.
Now, are you talking about just being able to replace him in a year, or be a functional part of the linebacking core this year and then replace him? It's a big difference there. Trotter can replace him in 2 years.
No.
He's not going to play much this year, though.
Yeah, right. He'd be like Bassa. So if he's not Bassa, so he'll replace him.
Okay.
Right? He's not starting over Nick Bolton, but you'll see him saying, "Well, shoot, he still has all of these things to him that we can move on from Nick Bolton." Right.
Guys, we can talk about. See me have me on your list. Yeah, you have me on your list. He's 5th down. Jake Galday, 1. 6'4", 240. They moved him everywhere on Cincinnati. Didn't just play middle linebacker, played the slot, played in coverage, ran almost 23 miles per hour in practice. A 4.24 shuttle time last summer. Can definitely move for his size. Not a lot of pass rush there, but that honestly wouldn't be the reason why we would go for him anyway. 87 coverage grade out of the box, 74 coverage grade in the slot, 91 run defensive grade. Feldman's freak list.
What do they have?
Third round. It depends, but third roundish. Could be if someone loves him, late 2nd. If he slips a little bit, mid-3rd. So our 3rd round would probably be what would happen, or if we got a pick from whatever, from on some other trade. Let's see, you have on your list Anthony Hill Jr. Will linebacker could be a guy who could play will linebacker for us, and then maybe eventually slide into middle linebacker or even Sam. Good zone coverage grade, can get a bit grabby and man. Big and runs really well. He's really athletic. Extremely experienced. Can guess himself out of a play. Good blitzer. Hard to beat him off the edge. Great punch. He forced 7 fumbles the last 2 years. 56 coverage grade in the box. 67 in the slot. A little light. That's one of his knocks.
So the reality also too is, if you're playing Will or maybe even Sam, like being a Mike is totally different. That's a totally different position than Will.
Yeah.
And, you got to be sideline to sideline as opposed to, you got pretty much kind of a third of the field that you're covering, that you have to really have to do. So Mike linebackers, because they are coming downhill, they're going to be the thumpers. They're going to be able to run in from, D gap to D gap, but also run guys down and hit lanes to make tackles, in the backfield. So the things that Nick Bolton does really well when he shows up is something that other guys just can't do because of the size, or maybe they don't have the hands, or they just don't have the instinct. And so these are two totally different type of positions. Three, really.
But some guys played a linebacker position for that scheme in college, but project better as a different position in the pros, though, right?
Oh yeah.
So like you could look like
Bassa, case in point, right? Bassa, when he moved over to Mike linebacker, you could see that his deficiencies immediately coming to the NFL was like, that's not going to work. There's no way he's going to be able to be a Mike linebacker in the NFL. He's just not big enough, because once linemen get their hands on him, he's done. He doesn't do great on the run through. Now, something coming to him where he's able to cut off, maybe the edge in that lane and getting up the field, does a great job of it. But Mike linebacker, he would get destroyed in the NFL, So
yeah, like Golday's a good example. I mean, they had him everywhere. He's 6'4", 240. He played 488 snaps out of the box or out of the slot the last 2 years. Like, I don't know if you're going to do that in the pros. You're probably better 6'4", 250 to just be someone's really athletic middle linebacker, realistically, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. And I had to watch him. I wrote it down. He's one.
Yeah, do it.
Anthony Hill's two.
Anthony Hill, Anthony Hill, York as well. Projects to be more of a Will. His biggest knock, everything I've read about him, man, it's like glowing. His problem is just they kill him, they knock him for the size. He's 5'10", 5'10 and a half listed, so he's probably like 5'9 and a half, 5'10. He's like 5'10, 5'10 and a half, 230 pounds, 20 years old. So he's going to drop because of his size, but smaller, compact, but he's got low missed tackles. So he's a good tackler. And a lot of times when you have the lack of length, you do see the missed tackles climb up, but he actually does a pretty good missed tackle percentage. Ran 100 and 200 meter in high school. My favorite guys who break down the draft, they said he's got a Luke Kuechly type brain. As in, like, he knows where the ball. It's when you watch him, it seems like he knows where the ball is going. Immediately. He's already running to the spot where the ball ends up going. Studies the game. Studies the game and knows how to apply. He's not just a film buff who just doesn't. You see him out there and it's like, does he watch a lot of film? He knows how to apply it. Read recognition, communication, leader, competitive, seeks contact. Got years of tape. Great leader. Coverage grades out of the box and slot are really good. And a 75 run defensive grade. So he's someone you can definitely come in. Again, he's going to drop because of his size. But if we drafted him day 3, I would be happy as hell. I would not be upset that we wasted a pick on a linebacker because he's a player, right? I want players.
Day 3 guy, though. Day 3.
Day 3 because of his, because he is smaller.
Yeah.
Rodriguez is another guy, too. People knock, too, but
he went flying up a lot of these experts boards after the Senior Bowl practices. They said he blew it up at the Senior Bowl practices.
I mean, that's the problem, though. Why? Some people thought he should have been in the Heisman running. I mean, 7 forced fumbled, led the country, 4 interceptions from a linebacker, 6'1", 235, takes on blockers well. I mean, that's someone, he's a quarterback of the defense. I mean, another guy, now because of that, the last thing I read was late day 2, early day 3. It's pretty good. It's pretty good value for him. That's someone who can maybe take over in a year or two as well, right? You see a lot of these guys are pretty on the lighter side, though, right? I think it's just the evolution of the game where it's going, trying to find guys who can not be liability in coverage and who can also not be liability in the run game and just try to be out there as much as possible.
Right. I tell you what, man, that's
ain't easy.
No. And Nick, he's 5'11", 237. I mean, he's compacted, strong. I mean, that's why he's, his power was what wins people over. And so when you do have guards and stuff coming up there to the second level, if I got a smaller linebacker, can they sift through all that noise to get there and make the tackle? That's what I want to see. I'm like, okay, you didn't get stopped by an arm or get pushed by, but if somebody's stick and stays on you, then your game's going to be short in the league. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a great linebacker class. So many of these guys are really good. I mean, C.J. Allen's a beast. I think there's going to be guys. I think he's a little too high. I think he's like a late first round at this point. So I don't think, unless we were to trade back in with the McDuffie trade or whatever, and we feel like we got a lot of our holes plugged, then I think that could be an option at that point. But that's a lot of different things that happen first.
Allen's an interesting guy. He is. He's an interesting player.
Yeah.
Watch him play.
I know it's on Allen.
He's a good player, man.
Yeah, Allen's a beast. Kyle Lewis talk about a guy, probably maybe the top three guys who helped themselves at the Senior Bowl. People just loved what he did. He also depends on what scout you listen to. Some people project him to be a safety. Some people project him to be a linebacker because he's small.
We already have that guy with Jeffrey Bassa, safety linebacker. So
he's like 6'1", like I want to say like 220.
So he's like what? What did he say? What?
I think he's like 6'1", like 220. Yeah, so he's light. He's real light. But again, the right scheme, I think, could do wonders with him, right? Like the right scheme who has a plan for him. That's not a guy you just draft and be like, oh, we'll figure it out. No, you don't figure it. You need to have the right thing for him. Like you got to have a place on your field for him, right?
Absolutely.
Right, Bryce, I think it's Betcher. Yeah, you pronounce it. The Oregon, another good center fielder. Harold Perkins gets a lot of love. Deontay Lawson's good. It's a great linebacker class. That's why it's like a fourth round this year would be like a second or third most years. So I just think you could get really good value if it's right.
Yeah, you're really stoked about the linebackers, man. I haven't seen you this bubbly about a position group yet.
Every draft's got its strengths and weaknesses, right? Like I don't buy the whole it's a bad draft or it's not a good draft. It's probably weak at some positions, but it's really strong in others. It's a really good cornerback. It's a really good safety draft. It's a really deep receiver class. It's a really good linebacker class. You just gotta look at certain positions and hit it. And if you have picks in a draft where there's a lot of quality players, and like we said, man, like the NFL, it's not for long. It's just not. The money is too much and it's too fluid, right? So like you got to kind of plan ahead, and you get a great linebacker there, pull the trigger. I mean, not the detriment of another position group, but
Well, so that free agent group that we saw, there's a lot of key guys that are living. They're leaving these teams. If teams not re-signing them, you know what I mean? And so. This may be a better route to go in free agent as opposed to, a rookie guy, because, I don't have to tell Demario Davis what to do. He already knows. He comes in and he's immediately barking what he needs to bark to guys, and everybody's going to listen. Same, I can say it about most of these guys out here, okay? And all these dudes I see out here were studs in college. I mean, seriously, these names come up that we saw. So that might be where, you might have a guy develop in a year or so. I get that. My question is, for the guys that we're looking over here for the Chiefs, and you're getting a guy, you're trying to find a guy that is going to be a steal. What is our game plan going in through the season? Who are we going to keep? Who are we going to get rid of? And I think we like McDonald. I know we like Bassa. Chenal is a guy that's not going to cost a whole lot of money. Nick Bolton's a guy that we
hopefully.
have. Yeah. Hopefully not either. But we got 4 solid guys. You need 6 good linebackers. And the reason we have a whole lot of linebackers is because we use a whole lot of them on special teams. Shoot, I was watching Leo and those guys killing on special. I'm like, daggone. Like, they ain't getting 0 breaks. They was out there. 0 breaks. So I think we rely heavy on the linebackers for that reason alone.
Yeah, and McDonald looked good at the special teams role, so I do think he's going to come in and take Cochran or Cole Kitchener's job next year, and then maybe get some reps on the actual defense. But yeah, you're right. Chenal and Cooper played a lot on special teams.
But honestly, you have a lot of veteran leadership with Bolden and Chenal. Like, if you brought in like a rookie to play next to them with Bassa, whoever best man wins, I think that's fine. I don't think you need to bring a vet with a veteran linebacker group already. I think it's a good time to bring a younger guy in to kind of learn under these guys.
Yeah, you can do that for sure. Definitely.
Plus, where would DeMario Davis play?
See, well, I know.
That's the problem. Some of the best guys on that list are middle linebackers. That's the problem. That's another problem too. So like, it's coverage linebackers that aren't liabilities to run. They don't. It's tough. That's why we re-signed Tranquill to the deal.
Yeah. I know we talked about Tyreek Hill a lot at the beginning of the show. And I just saw Little Miss Shadow sent me this from Twitter. This is while we were on. I guess he went on Twitch again. He said, wherever I end up, I want to go to a team that has a chance. Got to be a championship team. I want that same feeling I had when I was in Kansas City. I got one more surgery procedure I got to do on my LCL. Everything else is good. ACL, MCL, IT band. I'm rehabbing my butt off after seeing a few doctors. A lot of them don't think I'm going to be the same. I'm at the point where I'm walking, and now they're like, hold on, we got to have a different conversation, as this guy looks like he could be ready mid-season. I'll be 32 years old this season. What team is going to take a 32-year-old coming off a crazy knee injury, man? So
did he obviously did not pass that with Rosenhaus before he said that out. Oh, man, that's not – I mean –
what do you make of that, JD? Because it seems like he's like not tanking his like where he's at in the process, but it's kind of like I don't know. He could be ready by mid-season, but at the same time, the doctors are telling him he's never going to be the same again. Too, I don't really understand what he's trying to go with that.
I think he's kind of throwing a little shade toward everybody who's doubting him too on this. After seeing a few doctors, a lot of them don't think I'm going to be the same. I'm at the point where I'm walking, and now they're like, hold on, we got to have a different conversation. This guy looks like he can be ready mid-season. He'll be 32 years old this season. What team is going to take a 30-year-old coming off a crazy knee injury? Man, right? So he's just like, oh, okay, so here's all the doubters saying what they want to say. And I think he's probably a little bit more confident that he's going to be a little bit further along than what people are saying he is. So
he sounds pretty pessimistic to me. No?
No, he's throwing shade. He's throwing shade at all the doubters is what it is.
By saying what team's going to want a 32-year-old coming off a crazy injury?
Yeah, he's like, what team would want me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear his delivery on this too. Like the way he says it would tell me a lot as well. Because if I'm just reading it like this, oh man, it sounds like a guy who's really depressed right now and sad. But like, I'm sure his delivery was not like very somber. I could see him being more facetious with it.
Also, going back to what we said earlier, it looks like mid-season's best case scenario. So that changes some of the conversations we had earlier as far as negotiation and money, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pro Football Talk, or Pro Football Doc, our guy, Dr. Chow, he tweeted earlier saying that based on all that he knows about his injury, he could see him either coming mid-season or maybe missing the entire season altogether. He said this is more of a career-threatening injury than anything else. That's what he's saying. So, yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, I see, like, to me, it sounds like he's being facetious right here. I'll be 32 years old this season. What team is going to take a 30-year-old coming off a crazy knee injury, man? So I think he's just throwing this thing out there. You know, Tyreek, that's what he be tweeting. He be tweeting all type of crazy
It's true.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
If you read into his tweets from 2 years ago, you would think that Dolphins were going to cut him week 2 of that season. He was going to go to Kansas City 2 years ago. So, like, I mean, yeah, you can't go into a lot of what he's.
This is different though. He doesn't have a team.
He's got suitors for sure. I mean, like we talked about, I think someone's going to bring him in, and I think it might, and I think probably us, honestly.
Yeah, but it's different than already having your bag secured and you have a place of employment. He doesn't have that right now. For speaking for being a free agent and speaking for a guy who's got a contract lined up. I think it's different a little bit, but
yeah. I think this is one where he wants to like get in the room because he's letting everybody know, like, hey, my ACL with MCL, my IT band, all of that is good, man. Like, y'all, that's good. He said he's working his tail off, you know. So he's like, I got these things right here in order, right? And so he's trying to get into a place that has a chance for a championship. So he's letting people know, like, look, I'm still wanting to play. And I want to be at a place that I know has a chance to win a championship.
Yeah, I just hope it's like I hope it's not an OBJ situation where, like, you know, he had that really big injury, and then after that, like, every team he jumped on was like injury after injury after injury, and that was just like you're always hoping for that old Odell Beckham, but really it's like it's the one who's, you know, the hurt Odell Beckham. He never comes back to that. But I hope it's not the case in the Tyreek Hill situation. But time will tell on that. But we hope everybody enjoyed our episode tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed the snarkiness in our linebacker conversation. Very, very good stuff. We love it. We love it. But Wednesday night, JD and I will be hosting Chiefs cornerback Kevin Knowles, who's a really great story this year. Probably one of the bigger stories on our defense. A guy who was undrafted, came in from special teams, worked his way into having a role in the secondary. And will be a huge guy going forward for us, at least this coming season. It could be even a bigger deal if more change-ups happen in the secondary, which, I mean, there might be a huge overhaul in the secondary, and he might have a big role next year. But that'll be Wednesday night, so everyone tunes in for that. But, yeah, guys, we hope everybody enjoyed Chief Concerns presented by FanDuel. We'll see you guys Wednesday night. JD, take us away, brother.
Yeah, I was going to say. Hey, y'all seen the End Zone Boys, right? Special teams.
Yeah, you sent me their clips before.
Yeah, Teja, you see them guys?
I don't think so.
End Zone Boys from the Titans. They're always in the end zone. They get on the team, man. You got to see this. You'll laugh your tail off. You'll
send it to me.
Yeah, you'll love it. But with that being said, man, look, appreciate everybody coming out. You know, we having a very passionate love conversation of what this is, you know, and so we get a great glimpse into the Dash household, you know.
That's right.
Little brother Noogies and everybody, you know. I don't think it's, you know, so it's good. It's good. But you can tell, man, how much we love the ball. We love the Chiefs, and it's why we do these things, man. And so, look, we y'all part of this. Y'all are part of this. And so we thank you all for coming in, man, and giving us your time. Sure, we will see you on Wednesday. Can't wait to see Kev and talk about these things. But, hey, man, love you, brothers. Marcus, Taylor, okay?
Hey, buddy.
And we're saying kumbaya to everybody, all right? But no, everything was good.
Don't worry, guys. We're not going.
No.
We're not going to go linebacker at 9 overall. Don't worry about it.
As much as you want to. But
although Sonny Styles, he is like a top 4 prospect in this draft. So,
yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Take care. God bless. We will see you all later. Love each other the way you're supposed to. Wednesday night, do not miss it. 8:30. We'll have our guy on. Kev, man. We're going to get it out. All right. Brothers, we'll see y'all.
Love y'all.
We'll see y'all later.
Love y'all. Later.
Everybody. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, Subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.